symbolism that stood out to you? Obviously, I really liked the sun moon analogy. I thought that was a really nice way to depict the characters of Pico and Smile.
So the first thing I'd like to talk about is flying and how that is related to the entire thing. You see birds so much in this show. So many overhead shots of birds and other things and butterflies, and those are all organic things and organic reasons that these people want to be able to fly. But when it comes to Kong, the only flying thing depicted as an airplane, which is an artificial thing. First off, it is his way back home. It's just there. He's not super.
Yeah.
It's not organic. He doesn't want to fly for the right reasons. These are reasons given to him to want to fly, and I think that's a very.
His way back
It's definitely just a way different way that they symbolize flying for Kong than they do for all the other characters in this show.
I did not catch that. That's a good catch, Sander.
Thank you. So another thing that I like for symbolism in this show is the quote I started with, which is "Blood tastes like iron." I think this is so important because Smile is constantly referred to as a robot, no emotions. But every time he bleeds, they'll just show flashbacks of him bleeding. And Pico always reminds him that blood tastes like iron. And this just goes to show that no matter, how robotic someone acts, how cold someone can be, they are so similar. They taste the same. Blood tasting like iron shows that Smile is human, and that no matter what anyone thinks about him being a robot, humans and robots are, in this case, closer than people think they could be.
I'll take it a step further. I would even argue that in this situation, they are the same thing because Smile is living a life that he programmed himself, saying, okay, I have these parameters. I have to be considerate of others. I need to spare people's feelings, just in the way that we as humans can program robots to do certain things within certain parameters. In this case, Smile is his own programmer.
That's a much better way of saying what I was trying to say. Thank you so much, Mr. Fire Panda.
I think you did a great job, Sander. But I also think this quote is a good reflection of Kazuma because blood tastes like iron, iron being very robotic. Kazuma had a very robotic routine that he had to adhere to be at a peak athlete level. And it's only once he realizes that he's liberated of these shackles that he becomes organic, a butterfly, and he's free. And just when Smile realizes, I don't have to hide, I can be myself, he also becomes free. Blood tasting like iron, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing to be robotic, as long as we don't steal our heart.
Do you have anything else in the symbolism category that you'd like to talk about?
I don't think it's really symbolism, but I really just do like that the path that Smile took at the end could be one that you can consider more moderate or more. It's a much more chill path. He didn't end up being the superstar athlete. He's fine living a simple life. And whenever we're young, we aspire these huge dreams, and if we don't achieve these dreams in our life means nothing, there's nothing wrong in living a simple life.
Yeah, I absolutely agree that I think sometimes the best lives are the simplest ones. One more thing I would like to mention before we move on from symbolism is the color purple.
What about the color purple? I didn't even think about it.
Did you notice who wore the color purple the most in this show?
Wasn't it Kazuma?
So Kazuma wore the color purple. Coach Joe wore the color purple. And Obaba wore the color purple. And Kazuma's grandfather also wore the color purple.
Oh.
And all of those people are looked at as respected people and older people, well, besides Kazuma, but they're all respected. And, when I think of purple, I kind of think of royalty and stuff like that. So I think with the older three, they each had, respected ping pong careers. And I think when it comes to Kazuma, the purple he wore was trying to project him as that next set of this respected ping pong player. Even though he is respected by his team and locally by the world, I think is what his grandfather had in mind for him when he bought him that purple outfit. So let's move on to our final thoughts and our score of this anime. I think Ping Pong is a great coming-of-age story for several characters, and I think it's really impressive how they kind of juggle the narrative of so many different characters at once. I would say this show, just like Madoka, is kind of hard because it's kind of in between two scores for me. I will say I do like this show more than Madoka, and I think I will give it a 9 out of 10 because I think this is a great show. I think it's better than Madoka, and I think it's better than everything else I have as an 8, but not quite a 10 for me.
Not quite a 10, I see. All right. I thought this was a phenomenal show. I loved it when I first saw it come out in 2014. I was a fan of the art style. I thought it was very unique. It is very true to the manga art style, which I think is a big plus. They kept true to the original vision. I enjoyed the journeys of all the characters. I think it did a great job of showing different points of views and what people feel as they're growing up. Trying to get to adulthood can be a very difficult journey. And it does suck at times, and you will have lows. But I think this show gives us a very hopeful message that even whenever you're going through hard times, there is a bright light that you can look forward to. Now, my score for this show is actually a 10. I think it is a masterpiece in its genre. Based on the OST, the artwork, the storytelling, the character dynamics, and the conclusion. I think all of these things combined makes it a must-watch for any person out there. It's definitely one of my favorites of all time, and that's why I rate it out of 10.
Yes, I can tell. It just wasn't quite there for me. It doesn't quite hit. I don't know what it is that's holding it back for me, but it's just not. I don't know. It's just not special to me. Does that make sense? I'm very biased in the way I judge. I'm not very. I'm very.
No, that is. You have your own taste, and that is perfectly fine. It's not a 10 for you, but I'm happy that you at least gave it a 9.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a great show. I mean, it just is. No.
Surprise, surprise! I made it despite the lies. Yes, I've been told I can't make it. Now I am golden in your favorite. So, surprise, surprise! I made it despite the lies. No, I won't go, I'm too afraid to. So I am here to just save you, yeah.